When I stand before you and declare that I will be the next billionaire, it is not a statement of arrogance, but one of vision, conviction, and responsibility. True wealth, as I see it, is not an accident of fortune, nor is it simply the accumulation of money in one's hands. It is the deliberate result of clarity of vision, the discipline of thought, and the persistence of action. It is born when a person refuses to see the world as it is and instead dares to imagine what it could be. This is where every journey toward greatness begins, when the eyes look upon the same horizon as everyone else, but the mind sees possibilities invisible to the rest. To commit to becoming a billionaire, one must first train the eye to see differently, to see opportunities hidden behind adversity, and to recognize that every obstacle contains the seed of innovation. Throughout history, the great builders of wealth were not the ones who inherited perfect circumstances. They were those who, in the face of doubt and resistance, kept their vision intact. They understood that obstacles are not stop signs but signposts, guiding them toward breakthroughs. When others surrendered to fear, they advanced with faith. When others complained about problems, they created solutions that turned into enterprises. This is the essence of the billionaire mindset. It is not simply about finances, but about the refusal to let circumstances dictate destiny. To say, I will be the next billionaire is not to boast of riches, but to announce that one has chosen to live above excuses, above mediocrity, and above conformity. Clarity vision means seeing far beyond the moment. It means holding on to a picture of the future so vivid and so compelling that it fuels every step in the present. A person with this clarity wakes each day not with the burden of survival, but with the urgency of creation. They do not wait for opportunities to appear, they manufacture them through persistence and imagination. A billionaire is not one who says, I will see what happens. A billionaire is one who declares, I will make it happen. This is the difference between wandering through life and leading it. It is not a matter of luck but of design. Consider this adversity as inevitable. Every dream worth pursuing will be tested. But the difference lies in how one responds. For some, adversity becomes the excuse to quit. For others, it becomes the very fire that tempers their character. When critics speak, the visionary listens not to their doubts, but to the deeper challenge hidden within their words. When doors close, the visionary does not stare at the locked handle, but looks for the key, or builds a new door entirely. To embrace this mindset is to accept that failure is not fatal, that rejection is not the end, and that even in moments of loss, there are lessons that can be converted into gain. The road to becoming the next billionaire is paved with choices that demand courage. Courage to take risks when others cling to safety. Courage to endure long seasons of effort without immediate reward. Courage to be misunderstood by those who cannot yet see what you see. This is why clarity of vision is so critical, because it keeps the mind anchored when the storms of doubt blow against it. Without vision, the storms win. With vision, the storms only sharpen resolve. True wealth does not grow in the soil of comfort. It grows in the field of resilience. It is easy to speak of riches when the times are good, but true character shows when times are hard. In those moments, the billionaire mindset refuses to shrink. It says, if I cannot find a way, I will create one. This resilience is not born overnight, but is cultivated through small acts of persistence, repeated again and again, until they become habits and habits become identity. Soon, the person no longer merely hopes to be successful. They embody success in every thought and action. Let us remember that money is the fruit, not the root. The root is vision. The root is discipline. The root is relentless belief in one's purpose. A tree without strong roots may bear fruit for a season, but it will not endure. A billionaire is not one who seeks a quick harvest, but one who plants deeply, waters consistently, and tends faithfully until the fruit comes in abundance, not just once, but year after year. This is why so many who chase money for its own sake fail. They are chasing the fruit without nurturing the root. Clarity of vision is what keeps the root alive. And yet, the vision alone is not enough. It must be married to action, to execution with precision and persistence. To dream without acting is to live in fantasy. But when vision fuels action and action is guided by clarity, the results become unstoppable. Each step may seem small, but small steps repeated daily climb the tallest mountains. The billionaire mindset does not look for shortcuts, it looks for consistency. It does not seek applause for every move, but satisfaction and steady progress. And eventually, the world cannot help but notice. So, when I say I will be the next billionaire, I am not simply talking about bank accounts or assets. I am talking about building resilience so strong that no setback can silence it. I am talking about nurturing clarity so sharp that no distraction can dull it. I am talking about cultivating courage so deep that no fear can uproot it. This is what separates those who merely desire wealth from those who build it. It is the refusal to let anything, doubt, failure, or fear stand as the final word. True wealth begins in the mind long before it appears in reality. It begins when a person dares to believe in their vision with such force that it bends the world around them. It begins when someone understands that opportunity is not given but created, not stumbled upon but engineered. It begins when the individual commits to mastery of themselves, their time, their habits, their emotions, their energy, because one cannot master millions if one cannot first master minutes. To be the next billionaire is not merely to rise above poverty, but to rise above average thinking. It is to demand more of oneself when others settle for less. It is to walk into every room not with arrogance, but with certainty that value can be created, that problems can be solved, that innovation can be born. This is why clarity of vision is the starting point, because without it, the noise of the world will drown out the song of destiny. But with it, the song becomes louder than the noise, and soon others begin to hear it too. The world does not remember those who doubted, but it remembers those who declared. It does not honor those who hid, but it honors those who built. And in the pursuit of becoming the next billionaire, the true victory lies not only in the accumulation of wealth, but in the transformation of the self into someone who refused to surrender, refused to compromise their vision, and refused to live small when they were meant to live great. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say I will be the next billionaire, it is not to glorify wealth itself, but to illuminate a truth that transcends numbers and bank balances. Becoming a billionaire is not a matter of counting money, it is a matter of multiplying impact. It is about scale, about reach, about how far one's vision can extend into the lives of others. True wealth is not measured by what one keeps, but by what one creates, what one gives, with the legacy one leaves behind. To aspire to be a billionaire is to aspire to stand as proof that ideas can become movements, that determination can become empires, and that influence can ripple far beyond one's own lifetime. Money in itself is a tool, nothing more. It does not define greatness, nor does it secure immortality. But what money represents, the capacity to transform, to build, to uplift, is what gives it power. The billionaire mindset recognizes this truth. It does not fixate on the currency itself, but on the impact that currency can fuel. It asks not, how much can I earn for myself, but how much value can I create for the world that compels it to reward me in kind. For the one who changes lives, wealth is a natural consequence. For the one who pursues only wealth, emptiness is the inevitable reward. The measure of success lies in how many doors are opened for others. Every great fortune at its root was built on service. Whether through innovation, invention, or enterprise, those who reach the highest levels of wealth do so by addressing needs others ignored, by solving problems others abandoned, by daring to give the world what it did not even know it needed. They understand that the road to riches is paved with the footprints of those they have lifted. The billionaire who endures in history is not remembered merely for their possessions, but for the industries they transformed, the communities they served, the jobs they created, and the lives they improved. Legacy is the ultimate currency. Money can be spent, invested, or lost, but legacy lives on in the stories told long after one is gone. When we speak of impact, we speak of planting seeds in the soil of humanity that continue to grow after we are no longer here to water them. To say, I will be the next billionaire is not only to set a financial goal, but to set a generational one, to commit to building something so vast, so meaningful, that its influence cannot be contained within a single lifetime. It is to build bridges across time to ensure that those who come after find paths smoother, opportunities richer, and possibilities larger because of what was created today. The scale of impact defines the scale of wealth. A local solution may yield local rewards, but a global solution yields global transformation. Billionaires think on the scale of nations and generations, not just neighborhoods. They ask how to scale ideas so that they touch millions, even billions of lives. They do not settle for small victories when the world is waiting for massive change. They do not stop at solving problems for the few when they know the same energy could solve problems for the many. This is what separates ambition from vision. Ambition seeks personal gain. Vision seeks collective uplift. When I declare that I will be the next billionaire, I am declaring that I will not live a life of small impact. I am declaring that my ideas, my energy, my effort will be multiplied 1,000 times over to reach not just my circle, but the world beyond. And I know this requires not only ambition, but responsibility. The responsibility to steward wealth not as a possession, but as a platform. The responsibility to use influence not as a weapon of dominance, but as a force of empowerment. The responsibility to ensure that the road I pave toward my dream is wide enough for others to walk upon as well. Too often, people look at billionaires and see only the number, forgetting the story behind it. Every billion is a collection of millions of decisions, sacrifices, late nights, failures, and comebacks is the visible result of invisible discipline. But behind the number is something even greater, the impact of serving millions of people in some way. Each product, each service, each innovation that grows to such scale becomes a part of other people's daily lives. That is the true power of reaching billionaire status. Your vision becomes woven into the fabric of society, shaping the way people live, work, and dream. Impact, scale, legacy, these are the true pillars of wealth. To build impact, one must care deeply about solving problems, not just for oneself, but for others. To build scale, one must learn to systemize, to multiply, to extend reach beyond personal limitations. To build legacy, one must live with the end in mind, asking not how much can be gathered today, but how much can endure tomorrow. This is what I strive for. This is why the title of billionaire matters, because it represents that the vision was not just big enough to sustain me, but big enough to sustain others long after me. There will always be those who dismiss such a dream as greedy or selfish, but they misunderstand. Wealth in the hands of the wise is not about taking, it is about enabling. With wealth, schools can be built, research can be funded, cures can be discovered, and communities can be restored. With wealth, the powerless can find voice, the hopeless can find opportunity, and the overlooked can find recognition. Wealth magnifies character, and so my pursuit is not merely to gather wealth, but to build a character strong enough to wield it well. For if the wealth grows but the heart shrinks, there is no true success. But if the wealth grows and the heart expands with it, then the impact can change the course of history. So when I say I will be the next billionaire, I am saying I will be the one who dares to scale solutions so that millions can benefit. I will be the one who does not stop at making a living but insists on making a difference. I will be the one who refuses to leave this world as I found it, but instead leaves it richer in knowledge, in opportunity, in possibility. For me, this is not a selfish dream, it is a sacred duty. Because the true meaning of wealth is not measured in dollars, but in destinies altered, in communities lifted, and in legacies written into the hearts of people who may never even know my name. The billionaire mindset does not see wealth as an end, but as a means. It does not see the number as the trophy, but as the tool. And when that mindset is lived out with discipline and courage, the result is not just a fortune, it is a future. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I will be the next billionaire.